What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Barndo Bros. I am Nick Holmes here with
Regan Wise.
And we've got our special guest today,
Steve Hoskins. How are you?
Steve Hoskins.
Hi there.
So, today we want to go ahead and just come over to the Bistro, downtown Brooksville. We're actually like 190 feet from our office.
Yeah, I think it was 198.
Yeah, 198.
Just under 200 feet from our office. And the reason why we want to do this, well, one of the videos that we haven't released yet, who knows, this might come out prior to this one, was obviously supporting our local community. So we are 200 feet away from a phenomenal place to have lunch, pizza, sit down, have a good conversation. I love the ambiance in here. I love the exposed brick. I love these old buildings. It's kind of my thing. And so that's what we want to do. So if you are actually interested in the Barndo Bros coming to your establishment and putting on a podcast, it could be with you as the owner, or we could bring someone else in like we did with Mr. Hoskins here today. So Mr. Hoskins is a pretty neat guy. He's got some really cool history that we're going to bring up today. And I've been able to work with him now on quite a few occasions. He's been very heavily involved in community events. And I think it's just time to bring him in.
Absolutely. Yep. What do you do, Steve?
Well,
just like that.
Cut to the chase. Southern Outdoors basically is my company. We specialize in artificial turf, mainly professional grade putting greens. We do exterior lighting, landscape lighting, and we also have a holiday lighting division as well.
Awesome. Perfect. I don't think I knew about the holiday lighting stuff. That's pretty interesting. You've always kind of been in the sports arena though, right?
You could say that, yeah. Yeah, I bowled professionally for almost 20 yees. I'm fortunate enough to have been inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017.
That's awesome.
Which is quite an honor.
That's awesome. I had no idea.
So paint that picture for me, because I'm ignorant to that world. So how does that, they call you up, hey buddy, like what they show up with a coat? Like how does that happen?
I was driving down I-75 when I was still working for one of the banks, and I got a call from the commissioner and says, hey, Steve, haven't talked to you in a while, got some great news. What's that? Letting you know you've just been inducted into the Hall of Fame. Banquet's going to be in 6 months. Can't wait to, kind of rehash your whole career, which was pretty incredible.
That's very neat.
Next thing you know, I'm driving 100 miles an hour instead of 75 because of the adrenaline. I was like, this is really cool. It's like a culmination of a career, and it really, it's hard to say, but it's like at that very moment, I knew that was like the final thing with bowling. Now it's time to move on to something else.
So you said that was in 2017,
yeah.
Right? So how long have you been done with bowling in between that? Like,
I retired in spring of 2004. I say retired. It's like life happens. I didn't want to be 50 years old and wonder how I missed my kids growing up. So I stopped doing it.
Oh, there you go.
At that point, cold turkey.
So it's a little 13-year gap there and end up in the Hall of Fame. That's awesome.
But if Steve is going to pick up the bowling ball today, what numbers are we hitting? Are we hitting 300?
Well, believe it or not, I actually just bowled league with one of my buddies from high school that I used to compete against. Just bowling 3 games a week. I mean, I think I was at like 227. Just bowling 3 games, having a couple beers, and just enjoying myself.
You still got it.
I'm lucky if I'm breaking 160.
I'm lucky if I'm hitting the pins, buddy. Bring him in. All right. So this is perfect timing. Let's go. Waiting for this phenomenal
carnivore.
Pizza. The carnivore for you. What did you get, Steve? Regular, boring, plain cheese for Papa. So right here, this is why we're here. It's wood-fired pizza, and it's delightful. And yeah, we're going to eat and talk and chat at the same time. All right, so bowling, and also I hear all around town that you are quite the golfer as well.
I love to play golf. I think the two sports are somewhat synonymous as far as hand-eye coordination. You don't necessarily have to be very large to create power. It doesn't hurt, but timing is way more important than just sheer brute.
Son, look at scrawny little Josh over there, and that guy can drive.
I don't think you heard you call him scrawny. I can't wait for the video to come out. Yes, no, Josh can hit very, very well. I've seen the videos. He's fantastic, and he's handsome while he does it.
Yeah, so the two sports kind of mirror each other quite a bit. They overlap a lot. Putting is very much like reading a bowling lane. As far as you have to look at the motion, you're anticipating what it's going to do. The only difference in bowling is you have to throw the ball and actually read what the ball does and then adjust accordingly. With golf, you have to guess a little bit. which means you have to read the green from multiple directions to kind of figure out not only speed, but how much is it going to break. So there's a lot to it.
So when you're bowling, do they give you the wax pattern?
The wax pattern.
Your
Was
oil
this
pattern or
1962?
Come on.
They do now. They never did it when I was competing.
Okay.
The technology was just getting there, but now they can oil individual boards with milliliters of oil. It's incredible what they can do. You can make any lane really, really easy from a professional standpoint, or make it borderline impossible.
Is that by machine?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it used to be all done by hand, basically with like an old spray gun that looked like a bug sprayer, and a pump and a liner duster that would just drag the oil down the lane. And if you had somebody that really knew what they were doing, they could literally, do a 40-lane center and have the lanes be really, really consistent one to another. Yeah, pretty incredible. But that's quite a talent.
All right, so tell us about your business. How is business? How's it going? Who's your demographic? All that fun stuff.
Business is dynamite. We're having a record year this year. I think it's so much of my business is word of mouth and referrals. I don't push for advertising at the moment. We're booked out about 2 months already without even doing that. My clients, basically, they're kind of all over the map, but a lot of them are golfers. Typically a little more high end. But I've got quite a few that they do small areas and they just want an area where they can practice their putting stroke without having to actually go to the golf course. Maybe they're not a member. They're avid golfers. They play all different places, but let's face it, maybe they have kids. They can't spend, 4 days a week at a golf course trying to get better at it. So they'll build a small putting green in their backyard, and they range in price from as little as a couple $1,000s to, I've done some that are well over 50. They're pretty incredible. And I mean, the amount of space that I work with determines the cost, basically. And are we going to do elevation changes? What do you want it to run on a stimp meter, which actually measures just how fast the putt is?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The higher the number.
Those requests from people that are all in? Oh, wow.
I do. Yeah. Like the one I just built in Lutz right next to TPC, he literally wanted to have a 10 to a 10.5 on the stimp meter. So if you don't know how to condition underneath and then sand it and roll it, you can't achieve that same speed. And the trick, it's more of an art form, is to be able to make the putting green putt the same on every level speed-wise, because that's typically what you're looking for on a regular golf course. If you've got a golf course that's got excellent maintenance, the putting speed across the board is going to be very, very similar. You're not going to see massive changes.
I know I'm thinking crazy right now, but that's me. I'm crazy. So, times of the day, putting greens are different. The blades of the grass, right? Everything shifts. Can you mimic that somehow?
You can't necessarily make it change throughout the day because it doesn't grow. Obviously, it's artificial turf. But you can actually make it to where you're into the green or with the green, which means it could be, the more the green is prevalent, the more likely it is to change the speed of the ball. And the application process, basically, when you sand it and then knock over the top of the green, you can make it more consistent into it, right, with it, sideways, and make it less effective on the ball, if you will.
That's awesome.
Which makes it a bit more true.
What about density of the ball? Right? So harder the ball, softer the ball, because you have softer. Will that obviously affect the putt? Everything with
a little bit. That's more the feel of the putter head into the actual ball itself. The hardness of the ball isn't really going to matter how it rolls. The hardness of it, based on your putter. Do you have a soft insert? Is it a solid putter? Does it have a hard insert? What degree is it? Is it going to swing up, down? There's so many different factors.
That's crazy.
We're sharing this on the golf channel, so if they're going to fact check you. I'm just letting you know.
Well, they will. And I'm fine with that.
So you told me that there's lots of options, like you could do lighting for the cups and all those different things, right? So
yeah, being a guy that does lighting, landscape lighting as well as holiday lighting, there's so many different ways that I can light up an area to make it usable at night. Many of my customers actually just like the cups to be lit up. They like to change the colors of the cups, and that stuff you can all do via your phone. You can do it with a remote control. It just depends on what you want to sign up for. But it gives you something you can kind of just feel the distance in the evenings if you don't have overhead lights.
Right.
Like the one I just did, I pre-wired it for him in case he wanted to put a couple lights up in the magnolia, because we built this green around a magnolia tree. And I said, your best option is to actually moonlight coming out of the magnolia tree in 2 different directions so that you can kind of offset the shadows.
That's awesome.
And be able to put at 10 o'clock at night with no issue. Yeah, it really is. It's like, I never even thought about that. It's like, I'm always thinking about that. How can I make it better for the customer?
Well, realistically, it's not all that expensive when you start factoring in the cost to go to somebody's driving range, something like that.
Very true.
Yeah, Southern Hills up here, it's $85 to go to just the driving range.
What?
It's,
Come on, Southern Hill.
You think about the amount of money you're going to spend at, say, Topgolf, to bring out, 10 people
$45 an hour.
and have cocktails, whatever. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if you could go do a putting game and a chipping game in your backyard and incorporate that into your parties?
That's another reason why we want to build a relationship with you as well, because with Barndo, excuse me, I'm a mouthful, but it's a lifestyle, right? Like yes, we build block homes, but we're building barndominiums, and we're building that lifestyle. And I think a lot of people, especially the Gen Xers, man, there's been a shift since COVID, and we're comfortable in our own environments, and quite frankly, any other millennial beyond that. It's like we just want to be home, have our place to hang out, our place to do things, and that would be really cool to incorporate that into our packages. So we want to come up with kind of like a package to where, hey, we buy in the house. Oh, it also comes with a putting green.
And that's one of the things I actually wanted to talk to you about. I'd love to do a putting green and a lighting package to give a general customer an idea of, hey, this is what your backyard could look like. But the cool part is once they pick out their land, I can tailor make it to that and design it to incorporate it with their landscaping.
We can roll this in, dude, almost like financing. It's just like buying a pool. We could roll it into our home and then make it life easier for people. So if you think, and then we want to take it like a step further. Like we're talking about cold plunges today before the camera. We're talking about gypsy pools, Sam down there. We can do those types of pools where like the trough pools. There's so many things we want to do. Just, bringing a different feel to building and building that. But versus going outside, let's just bring it all in house and then just sub it to you guys for sure. Yeah. I think that'd be pretty cool about doing that. But anyway, what are your thoughts on the Barndos, man? From your side of things.
I think they're really cool. They're so unique because they're just not this, as you say, typical block home. Right. And it looks like you can just customize them and make them just so unique to the individual. Yet they can still kind of get that farmhouse feel, but get all the modern tech throughout that entire building, which is, to me, ideal.
Yeah, especially up here. I mean, Brooksville is where it's at. And
the Barndos mesh with this whole community.
100%.
And what it really is, which we moved up to Brooksville just a little over a year ago and absolutely love it.
It's awesome. I'll tell you what, man, everywhere I go, Nick, people stop me and they're like, man, you guys are always you seem you're just ahead of the game just a little bit. And that's where we are in Brooksville.
That's where we've been designed.
just a smidge in front.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say it definitely makes it harder. We're the ones that basically have to take the counties on head on, teach the lending companies how to go ahead and write comps. And do all that kind of stuff.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but I'd rather be the individuals that trailblaze and pave the way for other people to wind up making money down the road, and that's fine. But eventually there will be competition, but we look forward to it. If anything, we'd probably help them out more than not talk to them, Well,
it's funny that you say that, helping them out. Yeah. That's literally exactly who you are. We've known each other, almost 2 years now? It blows my mind with how many people you are willing to just help out of the generosity of your heart. Yes, you have a business. Ultimately, your business has to be successful. But the passion that you deliver, the assistance and the help to other people and the information that you give to them freely, quite frankly, I've never seen it before.
That's awesome, man.
That's what brought me into the group. Even after Missy, my wife, had been in this group for a little while. It's like, Steve, you got to get involved. You got to do the charity work. You got to do Halloween, which obviously that's coming up. Can't wait to, be a huge part of that. But there's so many different things that are available, through most of the stuff that you kind of spearhead. It's kind of amazing. And as a business owner, it makes you feel pretty damn good when you get involved. And knowing that you're that passionate about it rubs off.
That's cool.
It really does.
That's cool. That's the reason that me and the Don't do it. Here's my wallet. Hold on.
I assure you it was free.
Here we go. Wait, I do have a $2 bill. It's lucky. So honestly, no, I don't know why I have that. But honestly, that is another reason why Nick and I are together. That is the same mindset, philosophy, and that's what we want to bring up here. So we've done it in Pasco. We want to bring it to we're doing it in Hernando. And then now it's going to be multi-state, which is really, really cool as well. But either way, so is the contractor going to be multi-state, because that's the ultimate goal is we can do this everywhere. And the same culture, the same thing that we're trying to bring to our communities, we can do it all over. Could you imagine if we all did this shit everywhere? How much of a different place we live in? You know?
The world would be a better place.
The biggest thing with the contractor is changing the perception of contractors.
Yes, sir.
Florida, we know we live in a state. Contractors got a bad rap.
Yep.
A lot of bad actors out there. A lot of handymen that take advantage of situations and go further than they should.
Mm-hmm.
For us, we talk about transparency every single day, but it really was about trying to be transparent, bringing trust back to the industry.
It's difficult, dude. Like, no BS. I know there's a camera on us, but it's difficult because we try to, do things and go the extra effort, and some things slide, then we have to get back on track. It's a lot, man. When you're trying to maintain a certain level of customer service and follow up and text messages and emails, like, it gets exhausting, and you can get lost really quickly as a customer. But our goal is obviously to continue that customer service. But we fall short sometimes, but we're always transparent about it. It's how I always say from day one, so to see, the end result is the happiness. We're going to go through shit during the process. It just happens. But it's the end result is the happiness. As long as we have happiness, that's all I care about. But
I say that all the time in my business. It's like when I leave a putting green and I see the smile on that person's face, all the aggravation or any of the trials and tribulations I went through while I was trying to build it and put the product that they thought they had in their head on the ground, right, when it actually happens and it's finished, all the aggravation just totally goes away, and it's completely satisfying to me. And I'm very type A. I'm about, like, if I decide I'm going to do something, and my wife will tell you, it's like, I'm not a procrastinator completely, but I'll wait to make up my mind. But as soon as I do, I'm 100% in. She'll tell you that till she's blue in the face. And it's like, so for me, it's like when a customer makes up their mind to spend money with me, to make their dream backyard, I take it personally. I take it very personally. And I mean, the word you used earlier, which was exhausting, so spot on. But boy, it is so energizing when you're finished. And you deliver that finished product and you know darn well they're happy.
It's true. No, it's true. It's true for sure. So tell everyone about the holiday lighting experience you get with Southern Outdoor.
Yeah, holiday lighting is probably one of the bigger parts of the business. It's just booming. And I think COVID is a big reason for that. People are home. All of a sudden, if they're going to be home all the time, well, I want my stuff to look awesome. I mean, I don't have to put it on and then I never get to see it because I'm never here. Our package is basically, it's a leasing package. My customer doesn't have to ever touch it. I come out, view the home, we measure it out, basically talk to the customers, what they want. I'll give them ideas as to what we want to light up, what we don't want to light up. And I'll give them the reasons why, that I don't want to do something. I'm more of an advisor. Same thing, with the putting greens or the turf. It's about advising about what's best for the customer. Ultimately, yes, it is a business. I'm here to make money, but I want to make money the right way, quite frankly. And with the holiday lighting, it's a 3 to 5 year leasing program. My customer doesn't ever have to touch it. We put it up, we take it down, we store it. If there's an issue, everything is fully under warranty. They simply make a phone call. Hey, I got a problem here. Okay, whatever it may be. I'm there within 24 to 48 hours to either fix it or replace it. Period. End of statement. Correct. And they have an option for year 4 and 5. And the beautiful part with me is we had a 98% retention rate after COVID, because contracts started running out after that. And when my costs started to go up, product was harder to get, I did not raise any of my customers' pricing. They were under contract. That's on me to have done that correctly from day one. And every time they knew there was an increase coming across the board. The only time we ever lose a customer is when they move out of state. So for me, that just tells us we're doing things the right way, treating customers the way they should be. And I value their money, quite frankly. And I mean that to say that their hard-earned money has been put out there to buy a product that they want to look at and go, wow, well, that's what I want. I want that wow factor when I leave. And I want it to be perfect, just like my own home would be.
So is it based on lineal footage?
Lineal footage for the C9s, which are the traditional Christmas lights. It also depends on how they're going to be hooked up. Are they going to be magnets? Are they going to be clips? Are they going to be on shingles? It depends on the roof line, quite frankly. And then you've got mini lights that are either going to be 5 millimeter or 7 millimeter. And we can do all different colors as well, but I would say traditional Christmas white is by far the most popular, because then you can jazz it up with different colors, say on trees. We do trunks. We'll go upwards of 50 feet in the air, with a lift. I've got a house on the Anclote that we literally wrap 9 palm trees in the back, and they look like candy canes the whole way up. And it was actually on the cover of a magazine. I think it was the Newport Richey Times or the Pasco Times this year. That was one of ours. Yeah. So it kind of makes it really cool. But you can customize everything.
That is a business I would.
Why?
I am not the Christmas light guy at all.
Oh,
I dread Christmas lights. I dread taking them down.
You know what's,
Great, go ahead and start the first
dude, you know what? It's weird you say that, because my dad had so much pride in that. And I remember like going and doing that. So it is a pastime of mine. But then when I started doing it, I'm like, this sucks. And I remember in my youth as a parent, so my 28, 26, 27, 28, I did it up on the roof and I was putting all that stuff. By the time baby 3 came around, I go, yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
It's not for everybody.
We're like,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, because
I'm amazed, honestly, with how many of the older generation that live by themselves, they want it. And
that's their pastime, man.
correct.
That's like,
I swear it almost brings them back to their childhood, when they look at it. And it's like you talk about doing it for yourself. Before I ever did this as a business, I was that guy on the block that every single light was perfectly straight.
oh wow.
So when we got into this business, it was like, I'm kind of perfectly suited for it. I'm a little bit OCD.
Yeah.
I like everything to be exactly how it's supposed to be, which can be a detriment at times, but it's like, that's just how we teach all of our guys to do it.
Do you do like the all out stuff too, like with the music and the dancing and all
We
that?
can. I don't have much of a call for that because, quite frankly, it's kind of personalized. And there's so many different avenues to do that via the phone. I don't want to say it's not as upscale, but it's not. We tend to go a little bit more the classical Christmas.
Right. I mean, now though, you can go wherever, Depot, Lowe's, that has the mechanism that you would just plug it in and it would run it. So I wonder
and it'll beep to it. Now, the biggest difference with our lights is ours are all commercial grade Christmas lighting, holiday lighting. My supplier is the same one that supplies Busch Gardens or Disney World. It's not the stuff you're going to buy at Home Depot, which is why I can warranty it, the entire life of the lease. And I know I'm fine. This is not something I'm going to replace next year or the year after that or the year after that. I know I'm good with it.
So that's a growth of that company, just from the business aspect. You're locking people in at 3 years. When do you stop? Like, I can't take any more clientele on because I know I have this much for the next 12 years.
Last year, we thought we got to that point where I needed to add more personnel, but because our efficiency has gotten so much better with the installations and just logistics of all of it, we found ourselves with, extra days going, hey, we've got many more we could put on. So this year, we're actually going to pound it home a little bit more and offer more spots for customers and businesses.
You should sell them in July. Do a Christmas in July special.
We've actually already got deposits. We have customers that will do deposits as early as May. It's like, I want to be in by this date. And I tell them, you just give me a date you want to be in by, and I'll make sure you're done. So
I need you the day after Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get an end date. In other words, I want to be able to flip that switch November 1st. Fine. They may go in, October 25th, and then they just keep them unplugged until they're ready to go. They're good. Yeah, I have a lot of communities. I do multiple golf courses where I'll actually set them all up and do everything but greenery, so that right before Thanksgiving I can go up, and that's when I'll put up the garland and the wreath but all the lights may have been there for a month already. So that we can efficiently get everybody done on whatever date that they want. And we've actually done new installs up until about the 12th or 13th of December, where someone will call and say, hey, I know it's last minute. It's like, well, I've actually got a little bit of time. And sometimes I have to say, sorry, I can't fit you in until the 15th. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
All right, so we heard about Hoskins, we heard about bowling, we heard about golf, we heard about putting greens, we heard about Barndos. What'd you guys think of the pizza?
Pizza's
Pizza's
great.
excellent.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Well,
I just want to let you know I woofed it down in about 7 seconds. We're gonna time. I want a time lapse. I want to know. You were thinking it, weren't you? He was thinking. Josh was thinking it while I was eating it.
Well,
He's like, this dude's scarfing us down.
I got about halfway through my first piece, and I looked over at you, and you only had 2 pieces left.
Dude, I am so trained because of my daughters to eat as quickly as possible because all of my dinners when we were going out, they were ruined. The milk spilled or this shit or someone took a poop in a diaper and we had to go somewhere. And I'm like, it's never changed. So I've always been conditioned to just woof it down. Not you. You have a plethora of children.
I have 2, yeah. I don't eat like I'm in prison, though. I mean...
Did you say plethora? Roll it in again, Jacob. Plethora.
Yeah, I need to make sure that Missy sees this. See how little I've eaten?
Oh, wait, that's...
But that's because I was playing the role of Regan and I was talking the entire time.
I was like, why is he
I usually eat extremely fast.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, are you done yet?
You wolf it down. My whole life, I've always got that, or I'll drink something too fast. All right, so pizza's good. I know there's a lot of other options here as well, but you definitely need to check out coming to this place. Like I said, I love the ambiance here. I love the feel of it. And then Josh and Jacob are going to put everything in the comment or somewhere on this screen of how to go here and how to come here. And they're going to take care of you and tell them that the contractor sent you. So, Steve, I just want to say thank you, brother. I appreciate you coming on our podcast. Last minute, 100%. And he came up here and he came through. You got anything else you want to add?
No, I think that pretty much about covers it. I mean, this is when we really started getting around downtown Brooksville and especially start incorporating more of these businesses into a lot of the stuff that we do. And I know you guys probably get bored seeing us in the same studio every time.
It's boring in there.
It kind of
I like being close to you, but we got to be in other places.
It's nice and cozy, but we got to start eating.
What is that? And what's the new place that you said just opened up? I'm intrigued by it.
Which one?
Right here with the little location.
The Local Bites?
Thank you.
Yeah,
so that's Local Bites, and there's a history in that building, apparently.
Yeah, that's the Jennings building. So we're heavily involved in that reconstruction process right now. So that is a new restaurant, though, that's just recently opened up. Serve, just American cuisine, so a lot of burgers, a lot of steak, stuff like that.
That's awesome. So hopefully we reach out to them and we could do something there next week. But I want to say this, Brooksville, you always told me it's different. It's a very quaint town, and it's just a different feel up here. I can walk through town here and people want to have a conversation. They're interested in what you're doing. And I'm not saying that's not happening in other towns, but I just do know it's a different feel from where I live in Newport Richey.
It's very different up here. I mean, this still has the small town feel that I think a lot of cities started off as, that just never really lost that,
Yeah.
So, pretty cool area to be.
Yeah, what I feel is collaboration and a lot more coming. So that was the Barndo Bros with Mr. Hoskins. We thank you, and we'll see you next time.